Simasko, an elder law attorney with Simasko Law offices, and today we'd like to talk about some of the questions that people ask so often in my office or when I'm talking to people out in the community. And we're going to be talking about today is Medicaid and what exactly is Medicaid. So to answer what Medicaid is, I have to compare the difference between what Medicare and Medicaid is, because everybody says, well, I got Medicare. Medicare is the government insurance benefit that you get when you retired. You start collecting Social Security, age 65, they're going to give you Medicare, and you typically get a Medicare supplement policy. Now, how it works is if you're in a hospital and you go to the hospital for 3 days, so let's say mom has a stroke and she's in the hospital, Medicare will pay the hospital bill. As long as mom's in the hospital for 3 days, then she goes to the nursing home, Medicare is going to pay the nursing home bill. Medicare will pay 100% for the first 20 days and then a coordinated benefit with her other insurance for a total of 100 days, as long as mom keeps getting skilled care. If skilled care stops, everything is over. Even if it's after 10, 15, 20 days, but no more than 100 days maximum. If mom goes home and goes back to the hospital and then to the nursing home, that 100 days can re-up. So mom, she had the stroke, she's at the nursing home, Medicare is over because the skilled care is done, or the 100 days. Medicaid is then the benefit that you want to be able to get that will help pay the nursing home bill. So Medicaid pays the nursing home bill, but they look at all your assets. So with Medicaid, what they're going to start looking at, what assets are you allowed to keep or what's exempt. So with those assets, the first is your house. Medicaid allows you to keep your house. While you're in the nursing home, married or single, it doesn't matter. Your house is considered an exempt asset, which means they will not make you sell the house. They will not file a lien on the house while you're in the nursing home. But there's been a law change. It's called the Estate Recovery Act. We have to make sure that you keep that house. If mom passes away, you have to keep the house out of probate, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So they look at everything else: stocks, bonds, mutual funds, life insurance, cars, cottage up north, condo in Florida. It doesn't matter. They look at everything. House is exempt. You're allowed a whopping $2,000 of countable assets to be on Medicaid. So not only is it a bank account, it's broker accounts, annuities, IRAs, 401ks. They look at everything. So mom has to have less than $2,000 in those type of accounts. Well, mom has a bank account. She has $150,000 in the account. She's on the account with her 2 daughters. They don't look at just $50,000, it's all mom's money. It doesn't matter how many people are on that bank account, broker account, annuities, as long as mom has access to the money, it's all mom's money. Funnier or weirder question is, hey, daughter is a single daughter. She was told to put mom on her bank account because she wanted to make sure mom was there that could pay her bills if the daughter needed help. Mom has a stroke, mom's applying for Medicaid, daughter's money in that account is now mom's money. It's a complete nightmare. So you have to look at all of those assets. Mom, she's 137 years old, blind, never driven a day in her life. Can she own a car? Absolutely. She's allowed 1 car. She's allowed 1 funeral contract, and she's allowed $1,500 in a life insurance policy. If you look at the life insurance policy, it's the face amount. So you pull out mom's life insurance. If she has 4 different life insurance policies, all with a $500 face amount, 3 of them are exempt. You have to cash in the last one. If you have life insurance that's a term policy through work, those don't count because they don't have any cash value. So you have to look at all of the accounts, all of the life insurance, and you have to make sure that the total is under $1,500 face value. Now, very, very important. A lot of the life insurance companies a few years ago turned into stock companies. And what that meant is if mom has a MetLife insurance or a Prudential insurance, they gave mom stock in the company. They said back then you could either cash it in or you can have this stock. Well, typically that stock is worth $2,000 or $3,000. Well, that's part of mom's assets. So if you apply for Medicaid and the Medicaid worker knows that you have a MetLife insurance policy and they know that you have stock there, or most likely, that's going to put you over the asset limit. So it's very, very important to make sure that you look at all the assets that mom might have. Bonds, broker accounts, those bank accounts that mom never even told you about. You need to make sure you can find all the different assets. So she's allowed a house, one car, a little bit of life insurance, a funeral contract for a single person. Married person, you're allowed one house, one car, 2 life insurance policies, 2 funeral contracts, and half of the assets, half of the countable assets, up to about $119,000. So if mom's got $200,000 in the bank and dad's in the nursing home, $50,000 is protected. The other half is at risk. If mom's got $300,000 in the bank account and dad's in the nursing home, $119,000, the rest is at risk. And that's where it's the job of a Medicaid planner to help protect those assets, to make sure that all of your hard-earned saving is protected from Medicaid. So any law changes, there's been some major, major law changes. The first one is regarding the Estate Recovery Act. Michigan was the last state in the United States to adopt the Estate Recovery Act. What that means is if mom has a house, they will not make mom sell the house, whether she's married or not. Mom dies, if that house goes through probate, that will give the state an opportunity to file a lien on the house and get reimbursed for all of the money that they paid out on behalf of mom who was in the nursing home. Now, people say, well, I'm married. Mom and dad are married. Mom's in the nursing home, dad's at home. Absolutely, he can keep the house. But what happens a lot? Dad dies. Who's on the house? Goes to mom. You have to make sure that you have that house covered. Any other assets, the same way. The second law change is they switched it from a 3-year look back to a 5-year look back. What that means, if mom or dad gave away assets, loaned their kids money, put their kids' name on their house or on their bank accounts or other assets like that within the last 5 years, Medicaid will consider that a gift and they have to give all that money back. So if you loan little Johnny grandson $20,000 because he promised to pay it back and he doesn't pay it back, and you're in the nursing home within the next 5 years, Medicaid will not pay that nursing home bill until Johnny or someone else pays that money back. And it is an absolute nightmare. So the question's going to be, whose basement's mom going to live in? Because Medicaid will not pay the nursing home. Or what's worse, the nursing home won't get paid and they will evict mom. So there's a new, it's the 5-year look back. So right now, mom has the house. You have to keep the house out of probate. The house in mom's name is exempt. So how do you keep the house out of probate? And we talked about revocable trust agreements. Well, will a revocable trust protect the assets from the nursing home? Absolutely not. If you have a revocable trust, all of the assets in that trust are at risk if you're in a nursing home, and you're not allowed to own a house by way of a revocable trust if mom's in the nursing home. She has to own that house alone. So if the house is in a trust and mom's in the nursing home, you take the house out of the trust, quitclaim deed back to mom. Now mom owns the house. If that house goes through probate, we're going to lose it. So what we need to do, it's called a ladybird deed. And a ladybird deed is a document that says mom's in the nursing home. If mom owns it, it's still her exempt asset. Mom dies, it goes to the trust after mom dies. If mom dies, it goes to the kids after mom dies. The ladybird deed says mom owned the house, she dies, it goes to the trust or her beneficiaries without going through probate. That's how you protect the house. But what's important is, how do you have that quitclaim deed signed? Mom just had a horrible stroke. She can't sign her name. She has dementia. She has Alzheimer's. She can't sign her name. You have to have a financial power of attorney to have her loved one sign that quitclaim deed, that ladybird quitclaim deed, to make sure the house avoids probate. If she doesn't have that power of attorney, or if she has a power of attorney and it doesn't have the language that I need or another lawyer needs to be able to sign that ladybird deed, because there's special language for that, that power of attorney won't work, which means the house has to go through probate, and that's when you could risk losing the house. I understand it's very, very technical, but you have to understand that when you have these estate plans in place, they don't work under every situation. Estate plan is a tool in the toolbox. It's designed to avoid probate, but it is not designed to protect assets from the nursing home. So the typical revocable trust does nothing to protect your assets from the nursing home. So the next question that people ask is, what do I do, Pat, to protect my assets? What we do, and what many lawyers do, it's called irrevocable trust or irrevocable asset preservation trust. When you create that trust, it will avoid probate. When you create that trust and you put the assets in the trust, it will protect those assets after 5 years, because you have to do that 5 years before you go into the nursing home. So revocable trust, protect from probate. Irrevocable trust, protect from the nursing home. Very complicated rules about that, and that's the time that I would strongly, strongly recommend that you pull out your documents to see exactly what type of documents you have, what type of tools that you have in the toolbox, and whether or not they're going to do the job that you need. If you have a revocable trust and you want to protect from the nursing home, you have to switch over to the other type of trust. If you have a typical quitclaim deed and someone's in the nursing home, you have to get a ladybird deed, and you have to do it before it's too late. It's too late when mom passes away. If you don't have that ladybird deed before mom passes away, that house will go through probate, and that's when you risk losing the house. So take a look at your documents, sit down with your loved ones, look at what your situation is. Is mom getting older? Is dad failing in health? Are we starting to get forgetful? And see whether or not it's important to go make an appointment with an elder law attorney, someone that specializes in this area, to hopefully give you the answers to solve those problems that you may have in the future. So again, thank you for tuning in. My name is Patrick Simasko, elder law attorney with Simasko Law offices. We do estate planning, we do Medicaid planning, VA planning. I like to call ourselves wealth preservationists. We want to protect every dime of your assets, whether it's from probate or nursing homes or any other risk out there. We have offices in Mount Clemens, Port Huron, and in Southfield. So give me a call anytime.